Liz here from DiAlto.com, and today in the hot seat I have Robyn of YourHealthiestYou.com, and I said it right, right? It's Eucalyptus?
Amazing job. Yes.
Thank you. Don't ask me to spell it though. So Robyn is an amazing health coach. She teaches people how to cook healthy meals. We've connected in New York City a number of times by accident at one of our favorite places, Hugh Kitchen, which, by the way, if you're in New York, you got to check out Hugh Kitchen. One of the biggest things I miss about the East Coast. So Robyn's here today to chat with us and share some of her healthiest you kind of tips. But first, Robyn, the thing I always love asking people, especially when I don't know, and I don't really know yours, is what's your story? How did you even get into health coaching? I find most health coaches, this was not like their original intention. So how'd you get here?
Yeah, definitely wasn't part of my plan at all. But now that you think back on it, it all makes sense. So first, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you, and this is awesome. So yeah, I actually, I say my journey began as a baby because my mother would put me down for naps in a bassinet in the kitchen when she'd make dinner.
Oh God, so funny.
She thought it was really important that, dinner was every night in my house, except for one night out of the week she'd cook. And so that was my nap time, and so she put me down. And so I really always learned to just have this innate love and sense of home and calm and peace in the kitchen. And that grew into me sitting on the counters and mixing and over mixing sometimes. And she's like, "You're wrecking it, stop." I'm like, "Mom, I'm 5." No, trying the best I can. And so, yeah, hilarious. And so, always had this natural love of cooking. And then what happened for me is somewhere in my early teens, my body and my little booty tooth popped out way before everybody else's and had like some nice shape going. Unfortunately, I never had the boobs. So it was only the booty and the hips. I decided that that was not the body that I wanted. I wanted to look like the models. I wanted to look like my super skinny friends that I thought were super skinny, my idea of super skinny. And so I started to diet and figure out what that was. And then the fat-free craze came along and completely took me out, like a lot of people. Screwed up my metabolism. I didn't know when I was full, when I was hungry, what it even meant to really eat food without it having be a whole story.
Right.
What I was having and not having. And so, I stopped listening to that voice that just enjoyed my mom's cooking and, ate when I was full and ran around when I wasn't eating, and started this really destructive cycle of dieting and binging and over exercising and that all good times. And so, through college, kind of the same thing. And I'd say in my 20s, similar. And I thought that in my 20s, I was getting better. I was reading about health, and I'd pick up fitness magazine, and I thought, okay, I get this better. I'm having tuna salad on whole wheat with a diet peach snapple with baked glaze.
What? They're baked. They're good for you.
I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is health. I feel good. And so at the time I was living in Los Angeles and was dating my now husband and started to get really into the farmers markets and cooking finally for myself and him in a real way, not just heating up Trader Joe's something and adding, salad with it,
right.
But really, really cooking. And became just so in love with it and wanted to do something with it, my passion. And at the time I was acting and I wanted something that would support my acting career better. Little did I know that when you become a full-time entrepreneur, that's it's like 3 jobs, of course. And so I did some research and I found the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I'm typically very indecisive, and I got the program and I signed up a week later. I told my husband that I was like, oh, we're moving back to New York together in January. Just get used to that idea. Hope you're okay with it. And there began. I came back and I learned what it really meant to be healthy. And ever since then, it's just been this really unbelievable journey of learning what health means for me and how I can really help people in a real way.
I love your Instagram, and I actually think originally that is how we connected, on Instagram. It's so funny because, people can tease us all they want about like posting food pictures all the time, but I love it. And I think that's one of my favorite ways to get in share ideas with other people. And so just yesterday, I believe, and by the time this interview goes up, this will have been months ago, not yesterday, but you were doing a private cooking class, it looked like with a mother-daughter. So tell me, how do you, what I love about the integrate, let's try that again. Institute for Integrative Nutrition Education. I know so many people who have graduated from there, and you all do such different things with your education, which is really cool. So how did you develop into doing these cooking classes, and kind of what do you teach people? I'm the same way you are. I kind of grew up in a family that cooks, so I just knew how, you know?
Right. Yeah, great question. So I figured out mostly what my girl and my clients need. And a lot of it is on-the-go options. They're busy. Most of them are city gals. They're running around. They're doing it all. They're all superwomen. So what that looks like when they are running around, and it's a quick option for them, and what that means. And then also what that means when they have a little bit more time, and when they are, prepared to maybe just cook once a week for themselves and make some great meals. And so I design in my coaching program at Your Healthiest You, I design my packages so that they include, if you're in New York City, a hands-on cooking class where I specifically tailor recipes to what I know you need and what you'll make ultimately at your own home. So that's what we did.
I think that's such a good point too. And not just I know what you need, but what you'll make. Because we all sometimes have, and even though it's what you do, I also really enjoy cooking. Even though it's our thing, we're not above reproach, there's weeks where I'm like, damn, I think I ate out almost every meal this week,
Yeah.
What are your personal favorite top 3 go-to staples, things that you make almost every single week of your life?
Okay. So my number 1 definitely is tempeh with greens. So I do sauteed tempeh with a little coconut oil and tamari, and then take that out and throw, or even on top of it, throw a handful of greens, sometimes some onions, mix that together, sesame seeds on top, salt and pepper. That's it.
Yeah.
That takes me 5 to 10 minutes. I'm done, and it's hit for me personally. It's a perfect meal. So I make that all the time. Another thing I really like is shakshuka in Middle Eastern or Israeli cooking, and you basically take a chunky tomato sauce and you crack eggs into the sauce, and the eggs cook in the sauce. And it's amazing, and this delicious meal. And then you can, if you have quinoa, you can put it over quinoa. If you just have some great sourdough toast, you can put it over some sourdough toast, or have it just with a salad. So I really love that. And it, again, also super quick. If you're noticing, those are both really things that literally take 10 minutes. I'm a master salad maker.
Yeah.
So I get my bowl going, and a couple secrets in there, like nutritional yeast mixed with lemon and a little dash of apple cider vinegar. And sometimes I put a little oil. You can put a teaspoon, you can put a tablespoon, whatever works for your diet and your body. But the apple cider vinegar and mixed with the nutritional yeast and the lemon kind of creates this dressing that coats the lettuce.
Yeah.
And it's yummy. And then I season it. You got to season the shit out of your salad.
Yeah.
People. Like garlic powder, cayenne, paprika, Italian seasonings. Like you got to season that. So people are like, it's fine, it's salad, it doesn't taste that good. It's like, well, what would you say about pasta if it just came straight out of the pot and you didn't even put salt, pepper, or
That's
butter?
such a good point, because I see on your Instagram all the time cool salads, and that dressing almost sounds like it would kind of taste like a Caesar too.
Okay. And then another secret for salads, I'm gonna just tell everyone, fresh mint.
Ooh, yum.
You don't even know it's mint sometimes, but it's this little magical fairy thing that makes everything just taste like, oh my God, what is that and why is that so good? It's just fresh mint and full of leaves.
Oh, yum. That's a great idea. We'll try that. Now, let me ask you another question. And I laugh so hard because it really feels like it's only been like 2 or 3 years that I've even known what kale is, but I freaking love it. Personally, my favorite way to eat kale, which I do almost every day, is I just like saute it in a pan with eggs and a scoop of salsa. I eat that for breakfast almost every morning. What is your favorite way to prepare kale?
Ooh. I'm trying to think of something more original than the massage kale salad, the
You
raw
don't have
massage
to.
kale
That's your
salad.
favorite. Tell people what that means to massage a salad, because they were probably sitting there like, "What are you talking about?"
Literally, my girl last night was like, no. I'm like, yes. She's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, yes, you are, because I promise it will be worth it. So what that means is you strip the kale from the stem. So 2 fingers, peace fingers, strip it off. And at Healthy Cooking Camp, our YouTube page, we actually have a video on how to do massage kale. So
Cool.
I can provide
I'll find a link for
provide you
that,
that as
and
well.
we'll put it below this video so you guys can just watch it.
Awesome. It's one of our old school videos, so we'll crack up. There's
We
like
won't
lights
judge
in
you.
our face. And
I have those too.
love those. So yeah, I strip the kale, and then literally a big bowl. What you want to put in is some good fat. So avocado is really good. You can put a little bit of oil, salt because it helps to break it down, and then I add cayenne pepper and also nutritional yeast because it's just the flavor is so good in that. And you literally take the leaves. Can you see this? And you
Yeah.
massage like as if you're like massaging someone's hand,
Yeah.
and you coat until it starts to break down and wilt the leaves.
Yeah.
And then taste, and then you can use that as just a base for your salad. So you can add olives or you can add cucumbers. And my lady's tasted it last night. She looks at me, she's like, okay, that's worth it. And she literally, I had an extra bunch of kale. She took it home with her to make it again that night.
It's great
So,
because kale can be a little rough. You know what I mean? And if I have raw kale salads sometimes, but it's that massagey with the avocado is great. Sometimes I've squeezed lemon in there with just some tomato. It could be really simple. There's so much flavor. Love it. I could talk about this stuff with you all day. So tell me as well, you do a lot of running. I know you train for half marathons and things like that. Now, do you eat meat or no?
yeah, I'm a pescatarian.
Okay, so you eat fish.
I eat fish. That's technically, so I eat fish. I eat eggs.
Okay.
Minimal dairy. I'll have goat dairy from time to time. I'm still trying to figure out if that has an impact or not.
Me too. I play with it sometimes, but I can
I'm
never
having
get
an
a read.
experiment now. I've been having goat yogurt for breakfast, like every day, to diligently see
Yeah.
what happens. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Keep me posted.
So yeah, that's kind of how my diet goes.
So I'm glad I asked this then because I get a lot of women who are like vegan or vegetarian, still pescatarian. You're not eating all kinds of meat. So I know you said tempeh.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you eat fish and eggs. What are some other? Where do you get your protein?
Don't you love that question?
Mm-hmm.
So I probably get more protein than most people because I'm so aware of it.
Yeah.
So in my breakfast, if I do a smoothie, I put some quality protein powder like pea protein or hemp protein. And if I don't do that, then I'll put hemp seeds or I'll put some nut butter. Lunch, those salads, I typically add sardines.
Oh, okay.
People are like, oh, but like you put them with all the stuff I said, they're really good. So sardines, jarred Italian tuna, sometimes eggs, or sometimes just the greens. I'll put extra broccoli in there. I'll put dark leafy greens. 1 cup of broccoli has 5 grams of protein. So, and then dinner varies. Sometimes it'll be the tempeh. Sometimes it's just a whole giant vat of vegetables. Sometimes I'll do salmon patties, and I tend to lean a little paleo or minimal grains, and sometimes I'll do beans. So I'll do lentils, which isn't very paleo, but I think
Right. I love
they
lentils.
work well. I love lentils. Lentils are like my love.
So let me ask you another question, which you may or may not know the answer to because it's super random. I was just reading actually. I started taking these vitamins that had a little extra fiber in them. But I mean, I'm not a person who needs extra fiber. I eat plenty of vegetables, and it was bothering my stomach. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm getting too much fiber. So I'm Googling around about how much fiber is in my favorite vegetables. And it was really strange. I found this one post where it had the fiber content of raw and then fiber of cooked. And the fiber grams went up when things were cooked. Do you know anything about this?
I'm wondering if it's because they're more digestible
Maybe.
in that form, and some of the water has been taken out.
That's probably what it is. Because I was like, wait a minute. And I don't even remember the numbers, but it had gone up. Like some of the more fibery things, like the really Brussels sprouts, kale, spinach, things like that, had gone up by like 3 to 5 grams when you cooked it, which I thought was kind of crazy.
Because they're more dense. Yeah.
Wow.
And just people, and there is a thing that's too much fiber. People with digestive troubles can struggle with too much fiber, but I want to tell your listeners, like, that's not the case for like 90% of people. Most
Right.
people need more fiber and more vegetables.
Right,
So.
right, right. Yeah, I was personally just curious about that. So, what do you have? Tell us what you have going on. I know if you're in New York City, you can hire Robyn for private cooking lessons, which is cool. You have you do coaching. So, do you do this? Do you do cooking lessons with people on Skype or virtually, or how does that work?
I do. So essentially, my business runs. I have private one-on-one coaching. So in my coaching programs, I include cooking, so I can do it over Skype, and you can work with me really from anywhere. All you need is an internet connection or a phone.
That's
And
cool.
then this fall, I'm actually also releasing a virtual coaching program. And this is the first time I'm talking about that, so I'm really, really excited to see that come into fruition. So be on the lookout for
Oh,
that.
cool. So, will that all information for that will be at yourhealthiestyou.com, right?
Exactly. And then
Amazing.
also my cooking show. So working on my cooking show and blog with my partner Quinn over at Healthy Cooking Camp as well.
Cool. So we'll put.
Busy girl.
I'm gonna link up everything under here, and if you want to find Robyn, I'll find your. Do you have a Facebook and Twitter and everything for Your Healthiest You, or is it under Robyn Eucalyptus?
So Facebook's under Your Healthiest You,
Mm-hmm.
and then Twitter and Instagram are Robyn Eucalyptus.
Okay, cool. I'll put links to everything below so you can find, because I'm telling you, it's something I didn't realize, and you might not have either. When you just grow up and you know how to cook, you don't realize that some people just don't, and it's a big barrier. And also, this is kind of counterintuitive, but for women, some women feel like they're not like woman enough because they don't know how to cook, which is like such a silly thing, you know? But I know people are self-conscious about it, so I love that you keep things simple, healthy, easy, fast, obviously, bouncing back and forth from New York and LA, you need things to be quick. So Robyn, thank you. Any last like fun, like signature parting words or anything you have for us?
Oh God, have a good time. Don't worry so stressed about any of it. You know, if you love to run, go running. Push yourself when it feels like you need a challenge and to push yourself. And the rest of the time, just relax and enjoy and breathe and move a little slower. And that is advice for myself as well.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you, Robyn, so much. We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye. Thanks, Liz.
Bye.
Bye.